Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to make a box for Tic Tacs. I hope you'll stay tuned. Well, I love Tic Tac gum, in case you didn't know that. And, well, I'm not a fan of the cool watermelon, but this is my favorite. I love the spearmint. And if you have dry mouth like I have, I recommend the spearmint really, really highly. Anyway, I thought for Halloween this year I would do something with Tic Tac gum just because they're sealed in plastic, and I figured, you know, with COVID people might be a little bit more nervous about getting candy in regular packaging. So I thought having a plastic container like this, parents could wipe it off with an antibacterial wipe and be good to go with it. So that's why I came up with this idea. And I saw another video where someone did this and all of the measurements were wrong for mine. I don't know if the Tic Tac boxes have changed, but with that being said, I had to redo everything. I figured what I would do was take these out and then show you the measurements and how to do it. So the paper I'm going to be using is from the paper studio from Hobby Lobby. It's called Trick or Treat, and I got this either last year or the year before, so it's probably not available. But the thing I like about these paper pads is they're 8.5 by 11, so I can fit them where I keep my regular paper. Don't need 12 by 12 space for that, which is nice. So what we're going to start with is a piece of cardstock that's 9 inches long by 1 7/8 inch across, and we're going to do some scoring. So you're going to score it at 1 inch, 1 1/4 inches. I want to flip it over. It's easier to fold this when you make your folds if you flip it over and do it from the score from the back. So it's 1 inch, 1 1/4 inches, 4 1/8, 4 3/4, 7 5/8, and 8 inches. There is a little bit of an odd fold in this. It's not hard to fold, it's just weird the way I had to score it. I want to show you 2 ways of doing this, and this is the first way. You're going to need to make the top so that it's well, you don't have to do this, but I thought it was cute, and I'll show you 2 different ways of doing it. One with a punch and one without a punch. So it's this one is with the punch, and how we're going to do it is I'm just going to fold the middle 2 folds. And if you have a bone folder, you can use your bone folder, but I'm not really into my bone folder. But right, I want to show you this. I got these 2 new pokey tools. They were at Dollar General. Yeah, Dollar General. And I think they were $1. I don't think they were at the Dollar Tree. Man, this is confusing now. I'm going to have to think about this. It might have been at the Dollar Tree. But anyway, they're a pokey tool, 2 different sizes. So if you want to put a brad in, you've got this bigger size and then a regular thin size. And then on this end is a bone folder, which is kind of cool. So I thought I'd just, show you that, since you know how I always lose my bone folders. So what you want to do, here's how I'm doing this. I'm making it so my bottom is flat. Okay, so I'm lining up the top and I'm squeezing it, pushing it all the way in, and then punching it. I found that's the way that I ended up getting these so that they matched evenly, because it goes all the way up to 2 inches across, well, a little bit short of 2 inches across, and at 1 7/8 it just has a little bit of wiggle room, so when you put one in and then put the other one in, they sometimes don't match up, so that's why I did it the way I did it. And then you're going to fold the next score lines down. I'm going to do that on both so that you see them, so that they're all folded as I go. Then this next fold folds back on itself. So the very last fold is the only one that folds toward like that. You with me? And so then this fold that's beside it, this is where I was telling you about it's a little bit odd. This side is only 1/4 inch from that score to this score, but this side is 3/8. It's because the container isn't exactly a measurement that you can make it even on. So I had to make one side a little bit wider than the other. So if you're doing this and you're thinking this doesn't match up, well, it does, because this is how big the box is. So then this is how big the box is, and it fits nice inside there. What I did is I glued the top. This is a very fast project, by the way. I glued the top, and then what I found was I had better luck if I put a little bit of glue on that between the first and second score, because then I could get it to lay better on top of the container. And I'm putting a little bit between the first and second score on the other side as well. And then all you're going to do is you're going to pinch the two together and try and make sure that you're getting your pieces lined up so that the hole is right on both sides. And then what I do is I push down on them so that it glues to the top of the container. I like to do that so that, first of all, so in case they do start to slide, they don't really seem to slide and fall out, but I figured if they might, I didn't want a little kid to be running with it and have it fall out when they're running across the grass. If that happens, you don't know. I'm going to use a piece of orange cardstock that I use as Spellbinders die and cut. It came from one of those kits of the month. It was a mini kit, and I couldn't find this set individually. One of my friends sent me these dies, and I love them. I use them all the time, but of course you can't find them if you weren't in this kit of the month club, I guess. There's that one. And then I thought I would put some spiders on this one, so I die cut 3 spiders. And I have some foam squares that I thought I would just cut in half so that they aren't too wide or too big to go on underneath my spiders. So I'm just going to cut those. Oh, they all came off. How lucky. And if they're too long, I might have to cut them. I haven't done one with spiders yet, so I might have to cut the end of my foam tape to get it so it fits. Yeah, it's a little bit too long, so we'll just take our Tim Holtz scissors and go underneath the spider's body and just snip that piece off so it fits better. Take off our backing. And I'll put my first one right there. Then I'm going to take the next one. I think I only need one of these. I'll just cut it in half and use it for both pieces because it's kind of wider than the other one, and I think it'll still work. You probably don't need 3 spiders on here. I could probably get away with 2, but I like the number 3 aesthetically when I do things, so that's what we're doing. We're going with it. There's 2. When I cut this, when I used my die on these, it left some kind of furry edges because this is heavyweight cardstock. And when it cut, I don't know if you can see these teeny tiny pieces of cardstock that are left behind. There's that. Then I think I'm just going to use a piece of black ribbon. This is bigger than or wider than I would normally use. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to double it over like that. And I'm going to push it from the back to the front. And this is when your pokey tool comes in handy. You can stick it through the hole and pull that ribbon. Okay, and then I'm just going to pull it like that. I'll need to make sure I pull on the edges to get it so it looks better. And then it's way too long and kind of too wide, but we're going to go with the wide. We can't do anything about that at this point. And then I'm just going to cut this on an angle. Look, I have my foam square stuck on my scissors. How fun is that? I'll just pull that off. And then we'll just do the same to the other side, and then we're ready to do our Christmas one. I'm just gonna kind of open those up a little bit, make them look a little bit more fun. And there is our little project. So I've made 11 of them, and it's probably more than trick-or-treaters than I'll have, but we're going with it. So that is my Halloween one. I figured I would show you how to do this if you do not have this punch. And this is called a Delightful Tag Topper Punch. Stampin' Up! Sold it, and I just want to make sure you knew where it came from. I don't think they make it anymore, although I'm not sure about that. But you can always find any Stampin' Up! Things on eBay. They always seem to have anything I've ever looked for in Stampin' Up! I can find on, so it makes me happy. And again, we're going to fold all of them in except for the very last one that's closer to the edge, like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold these two end pieces so that they're lined up. You might want to put a little piece of washi tape there to hold them the way you want them, you know, to make sure they're lined up. But we're going to make this one like a traditional tag. So I'm just going to do that. Then I'm going to hold it again, flip it over, still holding it. And I'm going to try and start from the same spot and still try and end at the same spot. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. Then the next thing we need to do is I need to get a hole punch. And of course I forgot to get my hole puncher. This is a 3/8 of an inch hole punch. And again, I'm going to just hold those two pieces together. So basically the only tool you need for this one is a hole punch. And then I'm going to upside down, making sure that we're centered. Much bigger than I needed it to be, but I couldn't find a smaller punch, but still, it's fine. You don't need to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have one that if you don't have the right hole punch, just go with whatever you have. Then I'm just gonna show you how to finish it off like I did the other one. Okay, so we've got it inside there. Now we're just gonna glue it like I did the other ones. This time I'm just gonna glue the top piece because I want to slide my gum back out because it's for me. I can always put another pack of Tic Tacs in here if I don't glue the other piece together. If I don't glue it onto the lid, kind of what I meant there. It was kind of vague. And I'm just going to hold them in place till I'm sure they're well adhered to each other. Then I've got some silver ribbon. I go through the back with a loop. Take your loop, hold on to the loop and stick your fingers through and pull the two ribbons ends. I know, I have trouble with things like this. And then you want to, I always kind of play with the top of mine until I'm happy with it. And sometimes your ribbon will pull, it will start to do this and pull away from itself and basically come off your box. What I do is I put a little dot of glue on the back, then pull this so that your ribbon is attached to that glue. And then the only other thing you need to do is kind of trim your ribbon ends so you think they're pretty. And we got to put our decorations on. And in this case, I thought I would just use something that was on a paper pad already, and it was these light bulbs. I had green ones and red ones naturally for Christmas, but I wasn't sure how I wanted to put these on. So I thought what I would do is put one on and then figure out where to lay the other one so that I can fit both of them on this little front. It's not a lot of room to put two light bulbs, so I was thinking that maybe one of them would be offset. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do this side because I think this is considered my front because this loop, see the loop right there for your ribbon? I don't know if you can see that right there. That makes the front of your box if you didn't know which one was the front and which is the back. So I'm going to put this one, I think I'm going to go down this way with it. Put it like that. And then maybe So I think I'm going to put just a piece of foam tape on the upper end of this. And then I can just lay it like that. And then I can just put a little bit of glue underneath and just hold it for a second. And then there's that one. So this is a fun and easy craft. It was something that I thought would make my trick-or-treaters happy, just having a little bit of, you know, different than the norm. You know, they didn't just get just some candy bar that they weren't excited about. And I thought the parents would be happy because they're getting something that they can wipe with a antibacterial wipe if they're worried about that. So I hope that you enjoyed this, that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and please tell your friends about me on social media because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.